looking at the political situation, economy, like global trends as well, starting and moving to Pakistan. That's quite a big shift. Why are you coming back,
It's a
right?
bold move.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm known to be insane. So
Uh-huh.
yeah. आपने कहा कि दुनिया बाहर जा रही है, आप यहाँ आ रही हैं. तो मेरे लिए ये इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है कि सोशल नॉर्म्स क्या हैं. मेरे लिए ये इम्पोर्टेंट है कि अपॉर्चुनिटी कहाँ है और चैलेंज कहाँ है, सोल्यूशन कहाँ चाहिए. That's the type of thinking that
Sure.
I'm immune to.
But talk to me a little bit about like how was Lahore back then? Like when you see Lahore now.
It
and-
was a lot cleaner.
Okay.
It was a lot less crowded. I think even within the city limits of Lahore, we didn't nearly have as much population.
Sure.
And when I look at Pakistani women and Pakistani workforce, especially IT, I realize that there's a lot of gender gap.
और वहाँ से फिर Revsoft कहाँ से आया? Or like especially the name, it's like quite a unique sort of combination.
Revolutionary technology. It's a revolution not only on the technology side, because we're in this emerging time.
So you're setting up a university as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
it's going to be a first women IT virtual company, a virtual university in Pakistan.
और थोड़ा सा मुझे बताएं कि जो tech outsourcing है, because like कितना scope, I'm sure the scope is a lot, but Pakistan में there are a lot of
About $770 billion
wow.
IT servicing opportunities. More and more girls need to be encouraged into IT work. अगर हर किसी को coding नहीं करनी है, तो then do something else. If you want to be like the guys, and if you want to be like treated equal, then you got to put in that work as well.
Sure. So what's like something new you guys will be bringing जो अभी तक पाकिस्तान में नहीं हो रहा? Hi everyone, welcome to another episode. आज हमारे साथ बहुत एक ख़ास मेहमान मौजूद हैं. बहुत से लोग आई थिंक स्पेशली यंगस्टर्स पाकिस्तान छोड़ने की बात कर रहे हैं. बहुत से मेरे करीबी जानने वाले कुछ लोग पाकिस्तान छोड़ के चले गए हैं. एंड देयर आर पीपल who are moving back to Pakistan in this interesting time. So we have a very interesting person today. Her name is Saima, and she is American Pakistani, and she is now moving back to Pakistan. So थोड़ा सा understand करेंगे कि उनको क्या पड़ा है कि वो पाकिस्तान वापस आ रही हैं when people are like leaving, and we'll try to understand her future plans. Thank you, Saima, for coming onto the show.
Thank you for having me.
Why are you coming back? Like this is like probably $1 million question, especially at this time and age.
So yeah, this question was asked before, and honestly, I've lived in the U.S. close to 30 years. I graduated from Harvard in business management and social sciences, along with a couple of other areas that I've studied at. Also Harvard and Berkeley, but and then I have 25 years of experience. So 25 years of experience working in financial technology, which I recently came to learn a term, someone referred to it as women in deep IT.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, past few years, overall, in 30 years, my visit to Pakistan was very limited to none.
Okay.
But in the recent years, it has been more and more. And when I look at Pakistani women and Pakistani workforce, especially IT, I realize that there's a lot of gender gap. And it's a male... predominantly a male culture. And there just aren't enough women in IT. Now, as you know, Talha, women in IT is a global issue. And I think almost every nation recognizes and, comes up with different ways to address it. But when you put the lens of emerging market, IT tech market like Pakistan, and you look at the number of women that graduate with a computer science background, I think down to like 17%. And out of those, a lot of them choose not to go out and work. They just obtain their degrees and get married and settle down. These are the underlying things that Revsoft is carefully considering. And, you know, I have actually designed my startup, which is Revsoft, based on two factors. One, 25 years, I was the client. So when I decided to become an IT vendor, I switched that role around. But because I was a client for 25 years, it was almost natural for me to just understand the pains and gains and, you know, the routines and the challenges of clients when they outsource the work to different countries.
So before we go more into the work, I wanted to understand a little bit about your background. So you're born in Pakistan, Lahore. So talk to me a little bit about your childhood.
Okay. So yes, I am from Lahore, and I think I completed 10th grade from Pakistan, and then I went overseas. So I finished my high school and then my college. But after high school, I got married. So, you know, I had kids right away, and I am a single mom of 3 children. My daughters are 24 and 21, and then my son is 9. And as you can imagine, it's challenging enough to be a single mom, you know, or a working mom. But when you're a working single mom, it's a different dynamic. So, but you know, honestly, it enables me to understand. And I come from the same culture, right? Like I'm the first girl in my family to graduate college and to go out and work. So I understand the culture aspect, and I understand the, you know, limitations and such.
So your parents were like what sort of like profession they were from?
My mom was a teacher before she got married.
Okay.
And my dad worked for the airline.
Okay.
So
like PIA.
PIA.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that like experience like when you were growing up? I'm sure
It was really fascinating, but we didn't travel as much as my dad did. My dad traveled a lot more, which is why I decided that when I had children and I had, you know, family, I always travel with my kids.
Okay. And how was Lahore back then? Because apne, I think you have seen the Lahore, which was like altogether a different sort of
yeah, you know. I could talk about that quite a bit actually. So when I left Pakistan, I think
and
satellite.
How old were you?
16.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I was it was an interesting time because satellite ko aaye hue 2-3 saal hue the. 92 mein I think satellite aayi hai. And then, you know, we had all these different private channels popping up, SDN, and, you know, before that it was all like just you know, the PTV. And then I didn't come for like decades, right? And then when I come, it's like Pyaz wale ke paas 2 phone hai.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did we go from that to this?
And when is the first time you came back? So you left at like
2010.
Wow. So like after 20 years.
About 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
But talk to me a little bit about like how was Lahore back then? Like when you see Lahore now?
It was a lot cleaner.
Okay.
It was a lot less crowded. I think even within the city limits of Lahore, we didn't nearly have as much population.
I'm sure.
You know, there used to be these Volvo buses and, you know, cars and everything else was there. But it was a very different time. And we, as a child, I wasn't allowed to go out too much, but, for safety reasons and whatnot. So I didn't explore the city like a guy would have. But I moved around enough with my family that I knew parts of it.
Did you remember like any sort of stories which you still sort of, miss from those times?
I think the thing I miss the most is my time with my cousins.
Okay.
So we used to do this once a year summer trip for 3 months, and I would
Where? To Murray?
Karachi.
Okay.
Yeah. So all my dad's side was in Karachi, so we would go and we would stay up all night and cook all the food and take it to the beach, and it was just really good time. And then my mom's side of the family is in Lahore and surroundings, so that was equally fun. We had one khala who always came, and her kids were like the craziest. And me as a teenager, I remember struggling with that, and my cousins coming and touching all my stuff. So.
Yeah. And so you moved, so you left Pakistan like at the age of 16, which
16.
is, and how was the first few years in US?
Surprisingly well, because I was a cathedralite.
And that was the first ever time you left Pakistan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, Abid Majid Road Cathedral is where I went to school. But, honestly, Talha, like when I went to US, my accent came really naturally, really quickly. It was almost surprising to a lot of people. I didn't have the British accent. And then just living year by year and, settling down and going through 2 marriages, having 3 children, working, in the same place for 25 years, in the same city, that is. So it really, I feel like I have a good grasp. There's so much to learn, of course, right? We don't ever stop learning. But I really do feel blessed that because my roots are from Pakistan, it gives me that strong understanding to be able to empathize and understand Pakistani women, but also leverage that knowledge and expertise to run my company today. And then the West part is just by default, right? The education and the experience.
And how was being Desi in US for the first sort of few years for you? Because at that time, I think there was like a lot of acceptance till 9/11. But how was like, overall?
Yeah. And I get that question asked a lot. And quite honestly, I will tell you that I think it's a part of it is my own nature. I lived in North Carolina, which is the South. And South is a lot tougher than, North or West or something like that. But it didn't really shy me away from achieving what I wanted to achieve and what I wanted to do. I've never taken anybody's behavior towards me as my own fault. I look at it as an action on their part, where like मुझे पता है कि मुझे ज़िंदगी में कहाँ पे जाना है और क्या करना है. तो उसमें अगर किसी को वो चीज़ पसंद नहीं आती तो वो उनका मसला है, मेरा नहीं है. जब आप अपना माइंड बनाते हैं किसी चीज़ के लिए, once you make up your mind, you go after it. It's just how I'm built.
Yeah.
It's just how I am. And it's really rare to see very strong Pakistani girls, but when I do come across them, I really do admire and appreciate that. I think I am the way I am because my dad always encouraged me. He wanted me to get education. He wanted me to graduate college. He wanted me to work. And as a result of that, I always grew up with that. And the seed was planted, and then I carried out that mission, and it was like, okay, I have to do it because my dad wanted me to do it. So, and as I grew older and older, I started to understand why he wanted me to do it. And when that understanding came, it felt really good.
And when you were growing up, was there anything like कि यार मुझे बड़े होके I don't know engineer बनना है, doctor बनना है, or
No,
was there any
not at
pressure from the
all.
family?
No, I'm very spiritual in a lot of ways. So I work really hard at my goals and I set, there's a logical side to me. But in terms of like mujhe ye karna hai, no.
Okay.
I look for the pathways that are in front of me, and it's about the perspective and the opportunity that I see sometimes. Same thing with Revsoft. आपने कहा कि दुनिया बाहर जा रही है, आप यहाँ आ रही हैं, तो मेरे लिए ये इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है कि सोशल नॉर्म्स क्या हैं. मेरे लिए ये इम्पोर्टेंट है कि अपॉर्चुनिटी कहाँ है और चैलेंज कहाँ है, सोल्यूशन कहाँ चाहिए. That's the type of thinking that I'm immune to.
और फिर आपने कॉलेज वहाँ से किया and you went to Harvard.
Yes.
And how was that experience? And what did you study there?
Business management.
Okay.
Well, so I was telling a story at another event today. I think I wrote my first paper on December 17th, and then I had my son on December 26th.
Wow.
So 3 kids in school and full-time job. Yeah, it was a lot. But time management and discipline are the things that really helped me get through. And my determination, to be honest with you. I just don't know how to give up,
Or फिर Harvard से like you moved into the professional sort of life and...
No, so I had the working experience for past 25 years. It's just that I pursued my degree.
Okay.
And in reality, I didn't need. I wanted to. I applied with the thought of making my dad happy.
Okay.
And it's just so sad that my dad. I did get to tell my father that I was admitted, but he didn't get to see me finish my degree. He passed away. But it's, it was definitely personal fulfillment because even if I had not obtained my degree, I already had the experience.
So, लेकिन आपका bachelor's किस चीज़ में था?
Business management and social sciences.
And this was from which?
Harvard.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got the working experience throughout, and then I obtained my education.
Okay. Yeah. और उसके बाद the first job आपकी कहाँ थी?
So the first job, wow, that was at a high school, allowing people to take samples of toothpaste.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a fun job. That was a fun assignment. But my professional job was IT recruiting was my first professional position. And I stayed in IT recruiting for a few years. And then a mentor of mine encouraged me to join IT project management. And I had done project management for a smaller IT firm before. So I knew the work and the analysis, and that's how I got into it. And then I had some mentors. Some of my leadership encouraged me to get more and more into analysis. And I hated doing that because I just wanted to do project management.
Okay.
But now when I think back, I think about why they emphasized on analysis. Because if I had not, looked up APIs or understand the business rules or things like that, I would have not made that effective project manager. I think understanding the core technology, don't get me wrong, I've taken a lot of trainings and, education as well and hands-on working experience. I've sat through code reviews and things like that. So, it's something as a girl I had to become comfortable with. It's something that did look scary to me because of the unfamiliarity. But when I didn't give up and I stayed persistent, that's how I was able to have a grasp. And, the other thing is like my teams that I have worked with in the past have been very helpful as well in every position. So, I have been blessed with a lot of colleagues and mentors who have, through the years, been very helpful and giving me support and giving me guidance and feedback as well when needed.
और वहाँ से फिर Revsoft कहाँ से आया? और like especially the name, it's like quite a unique sort of combination.
Revolutionary technology. Yeah. So
And when did you start thinking about like
about 4
starting?
months ago.
Okay. But did you ever like in your teenage या बिल्कुल young, like do you want to be an
नहीं,
entrepreneur, like you want to do
नहीं,
your own thing?
कभी
Okay.
भी नहीं,
So
कभी
ये
भी नहीं.
4 महीने
25 years in the corporate.
So what happened like अचानक
And
के
I
you were
had
like,
another business before, but it wasn't IT related.
okay.
It was in real estate. But now it's, I've actually resigned from Wells Fargo.
Okay.
So Revsoft is my focus for the next God knows how many years.
Or naam, like how did you thought of the name?
So a name was suggested by a dear friend of mine, and it really stuck with me because it's a revolution, not only on the technology side, because we're in this emerging time when AI and VR and BI, things like that are just becoming essential part of every business. But then there's another revolution that it represents, and that's to empower Pakistani women or women around the globe. We have verticals in planning, Revsoft does, that will help deliver world-class training and education as well as job placement. And both of those aspects of Revsoft are 100% remote.
That's a very unique idea.
Yeah.
It's remote and flexible
Exactly.
for the women.
Yeah. So that was the idea. I didn't want to just open another IT company. And, and at times, I'll be honest with you, it's a struggle to explain what Revsoft is because there's quite a bit to it. So I've decided to refrain from just, explaining the whole design and focus on like IT solution, for example. That's our demand pool, basically. That's where our global clients come and ask us for, skilled resources. A university that we have underway, inshallah, is the supply aspect of
So
things.
you're setting up a university as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
it's going to be a first women IT virtual company, a virtual university in Pakistan.
और ये सारे ideas, like I'm like asking this question again because looking at the political situation, economy, like global trends as well, starting and moving to Pakistan, that's quite a big shift, right?
It's a bold move. Yes. Yeah. And I'm known to be insane, so yeah.
How did your sort of family reacted to that?
My
your kids
children
especially?
Are very thrilled. My brothers are very supportive. My daughters are on my board at Revsoft with me. And my son can't wait to join me. He's 9. He already calls himself the chief creative officer.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So we're all in it together. And the way I've raised my children, we really have a strong sense of family. We do everything together. So they are pumped about it. And both my daughters are brilliant.
So they've also studied like IT?
So my oldest daughter, Maha, she is running the Revsoft operations, and her undergrad is in education from North Carolina State University. She became the second girl in our family to earn a college degree.
Okay.
And Isra is working on her undergrad in psychology, but she also is learning about, like Sufi healing. So she's learning about the Sufism and, that side of things. And Aiden, he's got some time. He's 9, so he's kind of getting up there, but definitely a lot more mature than his age.
Yeah. और थोड़ा सा मुझे बताएं कि जो tech outsourcing है, because like कितना scope? I'm sure the scope is a lot, but Pakistan में there are a lot of
about $770 billion
wow
IT servicing opportunities. globally.
So what's like something new you guys will be bringing जो अभी तक पाकिस्तान में नहीं हो रहा?
Well, first of all, we're a woman-owned IT company, and we give 10% of our revenue back to women empowerment initiatives in Pakistan. So that makes us unique. The other aspect is our communication is very streamlined. Like I was sharing, Talha, I was a client for 25 years. So the first thing I thought of is, well, when you think offshore, you think of communication and you think of time zone difference. So how Revsoft mitigates those two things is we run 3 shifts for 24 hours. So for every staffing, project or, staff augmentation or anything we have, there's somebody dedicated to the client 24 hours a day. So unka kaam chalta rehta hai, that doesn't stop. And then because our holidays are different than their holidays, they're totally understanding about us taking, Eid or Muharram off, and because we can work on, Christmas or New Year's or, Thanksgiving. So things like that. It's a fair trade. And then the second aspect that changes us, sets us apart, is the communication. So Revsoft has carefully designed a combination of universal training, helping Pakistani talent to have strong communication skills, not just their English accent communication skills, but also giving them an exposure and understanding of the culture that the client belongs to.
And that is the university
understanding.
part.
That's the university and the training part. Currently, we have designed technical and universal trainings. There's mental health and work and life balance at Revsoft. We have an employee assistance program. For the girls that we encourage to come into IT discipline, we're also discussing strategies around, how do we emotionally support them so that they don't give up and drop out and go back? How can we, what can we do to sustain and make sure that they're still committed and they're still, because it's a scary thought to go out and do something that, you haven't done before. Yeah. And at the same time, the desire to financially become independent, I think that is a driver regardless of gender. Anybody, like, when you have jobs coming in where you're going to be valued as an employee and you're part of the family, and you have a culture where everybody's just a team member, including myself. It's a servant leadership culture that I'm building at Revsoft.
And Zaira, abhi aapne thoda bahut research bhi ki hogi Pakistan mein. You're traveling a lot. How do you see the work culture in Pakistan compared to the US? Because यहाँ थोड़े से लोग, आपको पता होगा ज़रा easy scene है यहाँ, because when I was studying in UK as well and I moved back, I was like, भाई यहाँ तो कुछ ना टाइम पे आ रहा है, मतलब ना कुछ सुबह उठ रहा है. अभी भी यहाँ आप देखें तो 11-12 बजे तो आप काम करना शुरू करते हैं. So how do you, what are you planning for that?
So that's an interesting point, because मेरी मीटिंग में मेरी टीम को पता है कि वो लेट नहीं हो सकते.
Okay.
अगर मैं 9 बजे पहुंची हूँ तो मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि 9:02 तक मेरी टीम पहुंच जाए. तो क्योंकि मैं खुद 9 o'clock पे हूँ. और अगर वो नहीं होता तो then we do have conversations and we do encourage our people to be on time. Sometimes क्योंकि जब आप remote opportunity दे रहे हैं तो आपको ये नहीं है कि आप ट्रैफिक में फंसे हुए थे, आप ये कर रहे थे, आप वो कर रहे थे, or anything like right. So you're being given and nothing comes without a price, right? Yeah. So you bring in the delivery, You bring in the work ethics, you bring in the integrity, and I give you the world. I give you, I empower you to move around the company as you want. I give you promotional opportunities regardless of, what gender or what age or anything else. It's going to be purely based on your performance and your merit. Your paychecks are going to be delivered on time every month. That alone is so appreciated in Pakistan. And I was ironically surprised to see that something so basic seems to be missing, and I'm not here to criticize any organization, but I think at a humanity level and knowing people have families and obligations, it's important to get paid on time.
Yeah, and especially like when you talk to the people in US, especially ज़रा आपने वहाँ से काम लेना होगा, like business development or generally, and I don't know the number, but probably like more than 80-90% outsourcing का काम इंडिया जा रहा है. So when you talk to them and told them, okay, like in Pakistan we are setting up this, how do they see Pakistan, like ज़रा global level के ऊपर या US level के ऊपर companies like outsourcing towards Pakistan?
So a lot of my leadership that I worked with is, they're my colleagues, right? So Western world में पाकिस्तान का नाम IT सेक्टर के रेफरेंस से अभी तक नहीं आता.
Okay. So right? India is like dominating.
Well, India, South America, Malaysia, Bangladesh. It's not just India, sure. Right? Like client को तो जहाँ
of course
service अच्छी मिलेगी, price reasonable मिलेगी, वहाँ जाएंगे. So I think Pakistan is that's actually one of the really main goals that I have is women empowerment is looked upon from Pakistan globally. UN भी हमेशा हमसे पूछता है कि आपकी औरतें क्यों आगे और नहीं आती हैं. लाइक मैं लिटरली अपनी सॉफ्टवेयर आर्किटेक्ट को चीफ आर्किटेक्ट को हायर करने के लिए आई वेंट थ्रू लिंक्डइन एंड अब ज़ाहिर है मेरा इतना आहिस्ता आहिस्ता नेटवर्क बढ़ रहा है पाकिस्तान में. अभी तो इतना नहीं है, बट इट्स स्टार्टिंग टू. एंड इट्स लाइक इफ आई कम अक्रॉस 80 guys, I'll come across like 6 girls. That's the ratio that I'm seeing from my own search results. And that alone defines the problem by itself, right? So more and more girls need to come into STEM careers. More and more girls need to be encouraged into IT work. Agar har kisi ko coding nahi karni hai, to then, do something else and, do something, do analysis, do Scrum Master, do, some other, you can be a QA tester. There's a lot in IT than just coding.
True.
And that's the perception that we need to help Pakistani women understand that, लाजमी नहीं है कि आप बैठ के कोड लाइन ही लिखें. और जो भी आप करियर पैथ चूज़ करें अपनी मिजाज के मुताबिक, अपनी कंफर्ट लेवल के मुताबिक, Revsoft's going to be there to emotionally support you through it and help you through it. And even when you become an employee and we assign you to one of our clients, even then you have your employee assistance program. And, so emotional well-being of women is very, very critical. And without that, I think it's very difficult to look at empowering women.
And what's the plan now? So तकरीबन 4-5 महीने आपको इधर हो गए हैं. So if I say कि where are we in the next?
It's been about 3 months. 3 months. And we launched July 1st. So it's the very beginning.
Okay.
Our journey is continuing. And our name is getting out there. And people are becoming more and more familiar with us. And
what sort of a reaction are you getting from the people, and especially from the women?
Overwhelmingly positive. I've had discussions with Jahara, Faiza Yusuf. I had another meeting today and, I'm meeting and collaborating. So my goal currently is to really understand the tech space in Pakistan. And then also anyone who is doing anything close to supporting women empowerment. Because I want to collaborate with everyone and learn from them because they are already doing it. And then I want to collaborate on, things that we're trying to do with Revsoft. So that's really the purpose of this trip that I have this time around. This is my fourth time in Pakistan this year.
Okay. So my last question would be, what would be your sort of message for the young women professionals, especially working in the IT sector? Because IT हम देखें काफ़ी male dominated, उस तरह I think पूरा का पूरा वो domain है.
Right.
So what would be your message to them?
मेरा मैसेज यही है to the new girls and new working professional women is that don't look around and look at yourself as one of the few women. I think the best thing that I have found for my own success through the years is my ability to focus and maintain my delivery. जब मैंने कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ली है तो मुझे उसको पूरा करना है, और उसमें मुश्किलात भी आएंगी, उसमें रुकावटें भी आएंगी, उसमें सब आएगा, लेकिन like I said, Talha, I don't know how to give up. So maybe that's what really helped me stick. Sometimes women come in IT and they don't like it and they leave, and that's okay. Yeah. It's not for everybody. But economically speaking, this is one area where, socially speaking, economically speaking, technology-wise, this is the future. And the more we are integrated into technology and are able to create solutions and stay ahead of the cutting edge, curve that we have, especially now, the new wave coming with all these top technologies, that's the wave that you rather be on the right side of the surf, to ride it and enjoy that really well. That's the message that I would give to the girls. Pay attention to what do you want to do with your life, and if IT is something that interests you and it pays well, and there's economic benefit to you and your
there's
family.
There's a lot of flexibility as well.
There's a lot of flexibility, and things are. The best part is that we encourage you and we support you, through your decisions and through your, educational choices and things like that. Sure. So that makes a huge difference. And, talk to somebody. If you are not sure and you're thinking about it, open up and talk and do some research and take your career in your own hands. Yeah. Basically, don't wait for opportunity to come and knock on the door. You have to go and get it. If you want to be like the guys and if you want to be like, treated equal, then you got to put in that work as well. True. So that's I have never personally seen myself any different than any guy in the workplace, and I can tell you that if anyone treated me differently because I'm a girl, that's their problem. Yeah. But I don't see, gender was never a factor to me. I never shied away from taking on a challenge because I'm a girl, so that would be my message. Amazing. Saima, thank you so much for coming onto the show, and thank you for having good luck with your company. And I think it's a very important work which you're planning to do in Pakistan, especially at this point in time, because of a lot of reasons, and Absolutely. The negativity. So thank you for that. Absolutely. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you.